What's up everyone out there in internet land? LordRyuujin here bringing you another YouTube video. And I wanted to do another video game review. I've been meaning to do a lot of reviews for things that I picked up over the holidays. And this is a game that I feel as though has been something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And I want to talk about it. Talk about both the good things that I like about it as well as the bad things that I like about it. Give you my ultimate 2 cents about it, and also ask that you give your 2 cents down in the comments below about what you think about it. So what am I talking about? Well, a game that I've been waiting for about 3 years for, because it was announced alongside the Wii U. They showed a little bit of a teaser trailer for it, and they've been talking about it ever since. And recently the company's even gone so far as to announce a sequel game, another game that's going to come out for the Nintendo NX. So I'm looking forward to that. I played the first game on the Wii, really enjoyed it. So without babbling on anymore, because I'm sure you're at the edge of your seat wondering what the hell I'm talking about, I want to review Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. Now, this game is huge. I will admit that. I was impressed. I was not only impressed by what they showed off at E3, but I was impressed by just the matter of scope that this game had. Just by showing it off in the trailers and the various gameplay of how you can go anywhere. And that's true to an extent, and I'm going to get to that later. But you essentially can go anywhere that you can see. You might have to figure out different ways to go around it. You might have to figure out the long way around. But you can essentially go anywhere to an extent, which I'll get into again later. And the fact that the game is just so huge. There's so much stuff to do, so much stuff to take on, so many quests to do, so many characters that you can interact with. There's literally a lot of stuff. There's hundreds of hours of content. I am probably not even halfway through the story yet. The game is just great. I have literally gotten myself lost just exploring just the one primary continent, and there's like 5 continents, and I haven't even explored 2 of them yet. So I mean, huge amount of content within this game. So that's great. And the game has an always online element, which doesn't quite sound right. So I want to explain that a little bit. It asks you to join a particular squad when you first start it up, and it does this every single time, which to me is just annoying. But it asks you if you want to do like the single player experience, or if you want to continue the game but be like connected with friends in a squad, or if you want to do online and stuff. But even if you do the single player campaign only, if you choose just to focus on not having like online people in your party and stuff like that, you can still encounter online people. You know, players have the option of basically doing something similar to what I guess Dark Souls did, although they don't really invade your world, but they have a character that will stand there, and you can just ask them to join your party. And basically it's just like an NPC, but it's somebody's character that has like invaded your world, kind of. And when you are done working with them, any spoils that they get go over to them, etc., etc. It's a really neat system. I kind of like that. I haven't really got a chance to play online much with the game because I'm trying to focus more on like completing the story and stuff. So I won't talk about the story much because, well, first of all, we're only about halfway through the game. And second of all, I don't want to potentially throw anything out there that might be spoilers for people who maybe haven't played it or are currently in the process of playing it, this, that, and the other. But I recommend that you get this game. It is a huge game. It is an epic scale game for the Wii U. And it honestly seems like it's much larger than a lot of the games that I've played. Now, granted, I haven't touched upon, you know, Fallout 4 and a lot of these current gen games because, again, I don't have a lot of current gen stuff. I don't have, you know, Fallout 4 and I don't have Witcher 3 and stuff like that yet. So because of that, I can't really comment on it. But based upon what I have read of people who have played those games and have played this, they're stating that this world is larger than something along the lines of like Witcher 3 and stuff. So it's pretty neat in that aspect. There's a lot of positive stuff about the game. But again, it's not without its flaws, which I want to talk about for a minute. The game has an excellent battle system. So don't get me wrong when I state this stuff. The battle system is excellent. I love how you can choose different classes. Classes that focus more on maybe shooting from a distance and being more defensive, or carrying a sword and being more offensive, or a balance of them. And you could also customize where the skills that you get go and everything. So that's some great stuff. But at the same time, this game sort of forces combat on you. I remember I was doing one particular quest where there was some creatures inside of a cave that had a particular NPC character captive, and I had to go into this cave. The only problem was that this cave was being blocked by a creature that was a few levels higher than myself, and I basically had to fight it. There was no way around it. There was no way around it. I couldn't sneak past it or anything. And it's frustrating in that regard. And I've also had it to where a few times, again, maybe I'm running too fast because I don't have all of the DLC upgrades that allow it to load faster and stuff. But I've come across a lot of times where I've been running and a monster will literally drop into existence, and then I have to fight it. I didn't ask you to fight me. It also has an incredibly long draw distance for attacks, because there have been times where I've literally ran away from a monster, and I am nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. It's on the other side of the zone, and it can still attack me and kill me. I mean, it's really annoying sometimes. It's really frustrating. But when it gets combat right, it's great. It's fantastic. It flows well. And I also wanted to take a moment to go back to what I was talking about earlier about you can basically go anywhere. There are a lot of areas that you cannot go to. And you can go to them. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't. You can just expect death when you walk in there. Because, yeah, great, you can walk in here, but I'm a level 10 character and it's surrounded by level 30 monsters. There's no way you're going to get up there. There's no way. And you know that they're going to fight you. They're aggressive monsters. They're going to see you. They're going to attack you. So you're pretty much blocked off. That's how the game does it. You technically can go in there. You're just kind of blocked off. That being said, though, the game is great, ultimately. The only thing that I have is I'm encountering a lot of collection quests, which annoy me because they don't tell you specifically where an item is, and a lot of times they're just random drops. So you're just running around, killing monsters and grabbing the little crystal things that you see on the ground, just in the hopes that you find the item to continue on. It doesn't really specify a lot of times where in one particular zone something is or anything like that. It just gives you kind of a vague, it's in this continent. Oh great, this continent is huge, so I'll be here forever. And also, even though the story, from what I have countered, is a really good story, I don't like the way that it progresses. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of story-related quests that they call affinity quests. And they're sort of locked. Like, for an example, I remember with the current affinity quest that I'm on, I think I had to do one other affinity quest. Then I had to explore this continent up to a certain point. Then I had to have these particular characters with me and be at this one particular level. And it's just like it asked me so much to complete. It asked me to do so much just to move forward and complete the story that it got kind of annoying to an extent. You know, it's just like, here's this great part of the story, and I want to continue forward with it, but I kind of have to divert a little bit and do something that's not as relevant as the main story in order for me to be able to move on and do the main story. And it differs greatly from Xenoblade Chronicles in that extent, because Xenoblade Chronicles, I remember I didn't really do any of the side quests. I have basically pushed through and just done the main story and gotten about 3/4 through that game. But, that being said, Xenoblade Chronicles X is a good game. I'm sure that if they could fine-tune the way that it works a little bit more, as far as how maybe the story progresses, the sequel to this game could be fantastic. And Xenoblade Chronicles X is fantastic. It still is ultimately considered to be my game of the year. You're talking about a game that I have waited essentially 3 years to play. I went off and I pre-ordered it the day that it was available, which I don't normally do unless it's a game that I'm really stoked about playing. And ultimately, I have enjoyed playing the game. And whatever little nuances and frustrations that it has, I don't feel as though it's really... I'm trying to think of the best way to state it. I basically feel like it's not really any particular one thing about it. Like, if I die, it's my fault. I shouldn't have ran. I shouldn't have investigated that thing, which looked like it was, a freaking statue, but clearly it wasn't. And it makes me sort of... And really, when you get to doing the story elements, you see why it asked you to do those one particular things in that order, because it has some relevance back to what you did prior. So, to an extent, I can see why they did it like that, although it just would have been nice to have something more like Xenoblade Chronicles, which was more of a, just get to this point and you continue on the story kind of thing, versus having to constantly go back and check to see what quests you had to do, randomly find the stuff, and just sort of figure it out. I do like the exploration. I love how you can just go out and you don't even have to do anything. You can just go off and fight and level up and grind your way through things and figure out how to explore. And it's got a lot of great elements to it, so I don't really feel like dissing it that much. I'm just saying that what it does wrong is annoying and could just easily be fixed and avoided. But what it does good, it does great. And I recommend picking up this game if you own a Wii U, especially if you're an RPG fan. Pick this up. If you're not into RPG so much, that's fine too. But it certainly is a good, fun RPG to play. And I enjoy more action-based RPGs anyway. And I've been really enjoying this game, putting a lot of time, clocking a lot of hours into it. And that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I'm sure I probably missed a few things, so make sure that you comment down below. And if there's anything you feel as though I missed, then we can have a little discussion about it. But otherwise, I thank you guys for watching. If you watched me this far, I try to upload videos, at least one every week. I hope you join me for those, and have yourself a good one. I'll see you next time.